Hi, welcome to the Whispers of the Vanguard playlist of my channel, Praxis and Nexus. This is tier area of night whispers, confessions, relax, let's meditate together. Have you ever felt that your voice belongs to someone else? A platform, a tradition, an expectation? And that the more you try to be yourself, the more your words feel borrowed? Hybrid identity, a manifesto for voice, power, and design. I used to think identity was a single thread, a family, a place, a name. Then I learned to read identity as a map, palimpsest after palimpsest, every stroke an influence, every erasure a choice. This film is both personal and practical. It traces a path from my hybrid origin, resilience, and of ancestral shards, to a public practice, the Vanguard Alchemist. I will show how a combination of rigorous theory, deconstruction, post-structuralism, Neo-historicism, and the triple engine, AIQ, IQ amplified by AI, EEQ, emotional ethical intelligence, SSQ, social sustainable intelligence, produces not only explanation, but a method for reclaiming voice, design in ethical systems, and building sustainable leadership. If you make decisions, teach, lead, or create with others, this is for you. If you've ever wondered how broken origins can become engines of excellence, stay with me. I will speak plainly, tell my story, and give you a practice that your faculty, team, or community can use next week. I'm about to embark on a deeply personal journey, unveiling the rich tapestry of my global roots and revealing how it profoundly influences my perspectives on everything from leadership in the 21st century to the ethics of AI and the very essence of human connection. My DNA test results came back, and they were a surprise. Beyond borders, unexpected ancestral locations emerged, ranging from ancient trade routes to modern migration patterns. How does my family history intertwine across continents? This set the stage for who I am today. Global flows and the speed of becoming. When we say globalization, we often mean the last 200 years. Networks, capital, faster ships, then faster ideas. But human history is replete with waves of globalization, traders on the Mediterranean, pilgrimage routes, imperial roads, diasporas carrying language, law, and ritual. The world has always been global in rhythms and resets. The difference now is tempo. Where once a proverb drifted across seas in decades, now a cultural pattern can travel in hours, a meme, a branded ad, a platform logic. Apple design language can condition taste almost overnight. Microsoft enterprise norms shape whole sectors. Google's search ontology quietly orders what we consider normal, and emergent AI services accelerate that phenomenon. This speed compresses cultural negotiation. Power concentrates in platforms and models which deliver patterns that human networks then imitate. The result, flattening, or, if we resist, an opportunity to reseed diversity deliberately. I grew up inside that tension. Each is a world, not a label. Each taught me forms of survival and speech. The Mediterranean was a classroom of languages and crossing. My family carried stories of exile and survival. Those stories gave me a capacity to move between registers, oral memory and bureaucratic French, family ritual and cosmopolitan critique. They were my raw materials. Theory as toolkit, reading the self. I turned to theory as a tool to translate my patchwork into practice, not to ossify feeling into jargon, but to gain instruments for analysis and action. Deconstruction. Derrida taught me to hunt the margins, the ghost meanings that make identity appear singular. If someone calls you orphan in 1,000 small ways, that word does not simply name you, it shapes how you move. Deconstruction taught me to find the slippages and to read them aloud. Post-structuralism. The post-structuralists insisted institutions speak us into being. What counts as home or celebration in one family is a ritual in another. Once spoken into the world, these categories gain force. Recognizing that made rewriting possible. Neo-historicism. This approach put my life in time, not as an isolated grievance, but as part of larger flows: migration, war, trade, empire. It turned family hurt into historical clue. My roots told me about port networks, about cross-Mediterranean exchanges, about modern administration and order. Phenomenology. Husserl taught me to slow down, to return to the lived detail of experience. In practice, that means notice the exact sentence you default to in moments of stress, transcribe it and ask where it learned its shape. These theories are not ivory tower toys. They are diagnostic tools, maps you can use to reauthor your life. Childhood logic, wounds and engines. In my upbringing, festivities were tests, not celebrations. When the family table becomes an exam of entitlement, you learn quickly that joy is conditional and attachment is fragile. I refuse the romanticization of trauma. Trauma is not a talisman, but the lived experience of scarcity taught me survival skills, acute pattern recognition, relentless agency, and a readiness to assume responsibility. Out of need, I built systems, habits, micro-rituals, intellectual scaffolding. I learned to be my own ancestor, to author lineage where others offered none. Historically, many communities, Jewish diasporas among them, have demonstrated how cultural emphasis on learning, mutual aid, and adaptive social structures can transform adversity into social capital. I mention this not to create a neat equivalence, but to notice a pattern where deprivation meets cultural practices that value learning and mutual support. Unusual cognitive and creative outputs can follow. We must say this carefully because we do not claim suffering is virtue. We see adaptive strategies at work. For me, that adaptive architecture became the engine of striving toward excellence. Creativity from constraint, philosophy, and practice. Constraint is not only a limit, it is a grammar. Poetic forms exist because rules compel invention. Similarly, my scarcity demanded recombination. Freud asks what lies under motive. Husserl asks us to return to the immediate texture of experience. Derrida shows us the slippage in meaning that opens space for invention. Einstein teaches imaginative experimentation. These thinkers give a pattern to creative work. Investigate the shadow, describe experience, exploit the gap, imagine alternatives. Practically, I train myself in 3 habits: disciplined reading, deep, not broad, daily micro-practices, a short morning gratitude, and translation work, moving vernacular experience into analytic forms. The effect: a capacity to generate frameworks that others can use to lead. The AI mirror, modern shadow work you. Now add the machine. Algorithms do what they are built to do, predict and optimize. They mirror the data they are fed, often our most repeatable, click-worthy patterns. Yet the mirror is not neutral, it selectively amplifies. The AI mirror creates 3 pressures: compression of expression, AIQ. Systems reward predictability. People converge on patterns that scale. Original idiom becomes expensive. Emotional calibration drift, EEQ. Social metrics, likes, engagement, skew how we value ourselves. Our internal barometers adapt to external numbers. Script homogenization, SSQ. Institutions begin to prefer outputs that conform to platform norms. Curricula, assessment, civic speech all risk a flattening. So the danger is not only vanity or mimicry, it is the slow erosion of standards of originality and the diminishment of civic voice. From diagnosis to practice, the Vanguard Alchemist. The answer is not techno-utopianism nor techno-skepticism, it is practice. The Vanguard Alchemist is neither priest nor manager. They are a practitioner who blends 3 engines. AIQ, learn the patterns that shape the mirror and build counter-instruments. This is not programming for everyone, it is pattern literacy. Understand the signals that platforms privilege, design counter datasets and prompts that foreground diversity. EEQ, restore relational frames. Train curiosity-first conversations, repair rituals, and emotional calibration. This is the ethic of practice. SSQ, anchor changes in institutions and communities. Design employer briefs that reward original work. Create rituals that stabilise new norms and ensure sustainable benefit. The alchemist's craft, build small rituals, test them with data, tend the people, and scale what is humane. The 12-week practice, full program, practical guide. Here is the practice I teach. It is a 12-week lived curriculum, low cost, replicable, and focused on restoring voice and civic agency. It is built for faculty teams, community groups, and professional cohorts. Overview: weekly 90-minute sessions, hybrid or in person. Daily micro-practices, 5-20 minutes. Bi-weekly community rituals. Outcomes: mirror map, mirror charter, detection, repair playbook, portfolio of original work. Phase 1, map and mirror, weeks 1-4. Week 1, narrative mapping. Participants collect 3 recurring phrases from their work life. We run a lightweight AIQ audit, word frequency, simple visualization, on supplied texts, emails, forum posts, module descriptors, to produce a mirror map, a visual of dominant metaphors. Exercise: each participant submits 1 paragraph before week 1. Facilitator runs word frequency and shares results. Week 2 shadow interview. Paired EEQ interviews. Prompts include: which part of your voice feels borrowed, and when did you last feel silenced? Participants practice curiosity-first listening and produce 250-word reflective notes. Week 3 data reflection workshop, AIQ plus SSQ. We present the mirror map. Discussion focuses on who benefits from dominant metaphors, which voices are missing, and potential social harms. The group drafts initial leverage points. Week 4 charter sprint. Draft a 1-page mirror charter. Declaration practice for AI use. 2 micro rituals, e.g. 2-minute origin story, 60-second posting pause, and a simple reporting structure for the detection and repair playbook. Phase 2, reframe and ritual, weeks 5-8. Week 5, reframe lab, NLP-style reframing. Pick a limiting phrase and craft 3 transformative reframes. Test them in mini audiences. Week 6, anchor design. Design 2 micro-rituals to be piloted in the next fortnight. Week 7, counter-mirroring tools. Produce prompt templates and curated counter datasets, local oral histories, community narratives, to use as assistive generators that prioritize diversity. Week 8, ritual pilot plus feedback, run pilot rituals, collect EEQ microsurveys, iterate. Phase 3, embed and scale, weeks 9-12. Week 9, employer and community integration. Map employer briefs and civic partners who can host projects that value original voice. Week 10, public project launch. Deliver 1 public-facing project, a community podcast, student brief, or local festival. Use AIQ analytics to monitor diffusion while prioritizing qualitative impact. Week 11, governance and evidence, formalize detection, repair playbook, train EEQ repair conversations, document outcomes in evidence folder. Week 12, showcase and next steps, public sharing, charter export, badge award, 6-month follow-up plan, daily micro-practices. Morning 3-minute origin recall. Before posting, 60-second pause. Is this mine? Weekly, share an original paragraph and solicit curiosity-first feedback. Metrics. Voice authenticity index, pre-post. Repair ratio. % flagged cases resolved educationally. Diversity signal. % non-dominant metaphors in sampled corpora. A personal case, Mara reimagined. Recall Mara, the teacher whose voice was being co-authored by prompt templates. She ran the program with 6 colleagues and 20 students. By week 6, students who had relied on templated responses began submitting projects with local interviews, marginal voices, and original audio reflections. By week 12, a community podcast series launched, employers called to offer pilots. This is not magic. It is small, structured work combined with attention. The mirror map made patterns visible. The micro-rituals trained spontaneity. The charter protected space for experimentation. Leadership, policy, and ethics. Leadership in this moment is hybrid, strategic, and human. If you lead a program or a faculty, here are 3 things you must commit to. Time and focus. Allocate at least 0.2-0.5 FTE or an equivalent rotating release across a pilot. This is not overhead, it is capability building. Transparency and consent. Make AI audits public within the unit. Request opt-in consent for interview recording. Publish the mirror charter. Evaluation beyond clicks. Use qualitative metrics, narrative reports, employer feedback, student impact stories. Ethically, the Vanguard Alchemist insists we avoid covert nudging. We set explicit aims, restore voice, broaden participation, and guard against manipulative micro-targeting. Selling the practice, productized offerings, you. This work is practice but also product. Here's how institutions and leaders can buy in. Core pilot, 12 weeks. Facilitated cohort, mirror map, charter, playbook. Faculty rollout, 6 months. Multi-cohort deployment, employer briefs, micro-credential pathway. VIP sprint, 6 to 12 weeks. Bespoke governance, stakeholder interviews, and full mobilization led by me. We sell outcomes, not promises. Each package includes an evidence snapshot and a governance-ready report. Final reflections from orphan to architect. I grew up in the margins of family rituals, learning to be resourceful in ways that were not always tender. That taught me to be a craftsman of voice. It taught me observant survival and a passion for reweaving. The Vanguard Alchemist is my method, theory to read, ritual to practice, engines to scale. If you feel flattened by platforms, or if your organization speaks in platform grammar more than human grammar, you don't need an abstract manifesto. You need a method, you need a charter, you need the habit. Begin with one phrase you frequently say and reframe it tomorrow morning. Begin with one chartered ritual at your next meeting. Begin with a conversation that seeks curiosity before judgment. I will give you the tools, the mirror map, the EEQ scripts, the SSQ charter. The rest is practice. From traditional wisdom to tech ethics, lessons from diverse ancestral cultures inform my perspective on AI's future. My global upbringing and roots influence everyday decisions and creative projects. They bridge divides and help me connect with vastly different people and ideas. As an empathetic leader, I draw on my global background to foster inclusive teams in a rapidly changing environment. Navigating this complexity prepared me to tackle complex global challenges. Understanding diverse perspectives is non-negotiable for effective leadership in 2025. Algorithmic bias and ancient wisdom shape my unique lens on AI's potential pitfalls. The future of human connection demands ethical AI that integrates diverse global perspectives for a more equitable future. This personal journey sparks broad conversations about our shared human narrative. My mission now is to inspire others to explore their origins and the rich tapestry of human experience. My ongoing journey of self-discovery continues to influence my content and endeavors. Closing, practical micro-tasks due tonight. Pick one phrase you say often in meetings, write 3 reframes and try one tomorrow. Share the mirror charter 1-pager with 2 colleagues and invite feedback. Draft one employer brief outline, 250 words, that asks for original, local